Is it the 12th, this domestic dispute? Is it this odd text that is sent on the 27th, the spotting of the van on the 27th? Is it him coming back alone on the 1st? Is it the parents not, waiting 5 days to report him missing when he says he's going to go take a hike?
Vinny, my mind is blown. Eklund Mercy wants someone arrested for domestic violence, but we know why, because now we know he's likely a murderer. But I mean, all those dates are important. When you leave with your fiance to go on a cross-country trip and you come back without her, I mean, that's a problem. And when you invoke, when law enforcement wants to ask you questions, that's a problem. And when your parents potentially cover up and obstruct justice, accessory after the fact. I mean, I don't want to accuse anyone of anything yet, but that timeline is very important, and they may have given him a head start. I mean, the only real reason we think he may be in the preserve is because the parents and the family attorney has told them that, but law enforcement may be on a wild goose chase. Hopefully they have other evidence that ties Laundrie to that preserve, because otherwise they may be looking in the completely wrong area, and ultimately he's got to be the prime suspect because he's either a murderer, he was also murdered, or he killed himself. Or really, the most likely scenario is that he's on the run and he got a huge head start with the help of his family.
Making this closing argument, and they put the little chart and the sketch up there. Not exactly a Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, not, but I agree with Kirk here. I mean, really poor job by the defense team, and it's how you start and how you finish. Let's not forget, they started with someone who had never tried a federal criminal case, and Judge Donnelly was sustaining objections left and right during the opening statement. And now on Monday, they call 2 witnesses. They don't have their witnesses in order. The judge is upset. The jurors have their time wasted. The court staff, they come back on Tuesday. Another 2 witnesses. Again, they're making excuses. Finally, the 5th witness comes today, Wednesday. So really kind of a poor job when they had 6 weeks to get their witnesses lined up. They weren't good witnesses. They weren't organized. So it's just looking like a train wreck for R. Kelly. And the whole enterprise argument, I mean, the jury instructions are clear. It can be a loose association of individuals. It doesn't have to be an actual entity. So that's a failed argument, in my opinion.
And the owner of that construction site, his testimony, which is going to take place on Friday.
Vinny, I think the McMichaels have to rely on this. It's really the only defense here, right? That they're applying Georgia's really ridiculous citizens arrest law, and they're arresting an individual who really there's no evidence that he was burglarizing, but at least the McMichaels thought reasonably that they were arresting someone lawfully. As far as Larry English is concerned, he's made it clear that he wants nothing to do with this case, that he in no way wanted to accuse Ahmaud Arbery of stealing anything, and really he just wants to wash his hands of all this, and that's consistent with every statement he's made. So having him testify at a deposition probably something that's helpful for the prosecution, because really the defense needs to turn him into one of their witnesses if they're going to have any chance of success here.
You think maybe they're the ones that broke into his car and stole his gun? Wait, I have one more video, Neama. I wonder if let's go to that last video. Do you think these guys did it? You think they were breaking into homes in the neighborhood? Because they're walking into the construction site. Look at them.
The kids? Yeah, probably not according to McMichaels, because they have that Confederate flag on the back of their pickup truck in that toolbox. So we know why the McMichaels thought what they did. Look, I agree.
But they got the getaway vehicles. Okay. Look at Neama. They got 2 little getaway vehicles there.
It's going to be E.T. They're going to fly away in those bikes, I think. Look, I mean, we all know why the McMichaels hunted down Ahmaud Arbery is because of his race. So let's just put it all. I don't think it's a good defense, but I think it's the only defense in this case. You got to apply that citizens arrest law. You have someone who's a former DA investigator, thought he was, upholding the law. You got to really, again, I disagree with all that. I just want to be clear, but you really got to thread the needle if you're Travis or Gregory McMichael here. Not a good argument, the only one. And I would agree. If I'm the prosecution, I want to keep all this out. But certainly if it comes in, you're going to bring in all these other videos as well and say, hey, why weren't you worried about these, these adults or these children? Probably because they're white. That's going to be the prosecution argument here. Vinny, absolutely not. They've lawyered up. They're the key, and they're the reason. I agree. I love this new and improved Eklund. Arrest everyone, prosecute everyone when you can. Otherwise, Gabby Petito may be alive right now. So Eklund, keep it up. I love it. Absolutely. But I agree. I mean, it's Brian Laundrie and his parents.
Brian, Brian has the perfect complexion though, so it didn't work. I
Oh.
mean, he was able to get off.